Hello. So we're getting started in Revit, and I've put together 5 short videos of how to get from the very beginning, going through how to do elevations, putting down a slab, your walls, closets, doors, windows, ceilings, roofs, furniture, all that kind of stuff. That's what's in all 5 of these videos. But the first thing we need to get started with in this video is how do I actually start this thing? I see all these tools, all of these previews, and how do I get going? So first thing I just want to point out is that in this model section, these are short little like shortcuts to get you to your project that you've already started. All right. So these first four right here are examples of that. Okay. If you switch computers, you won't have these. These only show up on the computer that you've worked on it on. These here are standard. You'll see those there. You can open those. You can see what a completed project looks like, so on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to new. Now, for us, we're always going to be using a model. Do not choose families, okay? If you want to open an existing, you go to open, but for us, we're going to go to new. And then here it's giving us template options. When we hit our down arrow, it gives us just these two, all right? But for what we're going to be doing, we're going to hit browse. And here are all of the options that are downloaded with the software itself. Now, let me tell you the difference between these. They're all designed for the specific area of your project that you see here. So if you're doing your electrical plan, electrical is going to be set up to make that kind of like pre-set up for you, okay? There's one for plumbing, there's one for mechanical, there's one for residential, okay? So for us, the best one for us to do just to start is the default. The default will give you the most basic template, the most basic layout. So let's go ahead and click on default. And then we're going to hit OK. Give it just a moment. And here we go. So first off, there's a lot. And I don't want you to get totally overwhelmed. We're not going to be using most of what you're looking at. We're going to be doing repetitive steps, meaning that you're going to learn maybe 5 or 6, 7 different things in this 5-video series. So try really hard not to let all these toolbars and all of these buttons freak you out. So the only other thing I want to show you in this video is how to save this. Now, I want you to get in the habit of saving this right after you've started it, okay? That way you don't forget. There is no autosave on this. There is a backup that will pop up every once in a while asking if you want to save, and please always hit yes, because we have had multiple times over the years where students will come in the next day and try to open their file and it says that there's an error. It just won't let them open it. So at least if you've got that backup, then you haven't lost an entire period of work. You may have lost 10 minutes, but it's only 10 minutes versus 50 minutes or 55 minutes, whatever it might be, okay? The other thing I want to mention is when you first save this, we're going to do File, Save As, and it's always a project, always for us right now, it's always a project. And then it, by default, pops you in this folder because that's where your template was at. And it's on the hard drive of your computer. Now, my students, we don't save on the hard drive of the computer because anybody else has access to it. And if something were to happen to that computer, maybe it crashes and they have to like reformat it and scratch everything off it, you've now lost your work. So you're going to save yours in your student drive, okay? To get to your student drive from here, you're going to go to My Computer, and I can only show you part of the way through this. But you're going to come into here, and you're going to see mine says C Drayback. You're just going to have your student ID number. So I want you to double click on that. And then you're going to have just a few things listed here. What I want you to do is I want you to find the yellow or gold folder at the top with the plus and click on it. And I want you to name it Engineering. and then hit enter. And then I want you to double click on engineering, and it's currently empty, but this is where I want you to save every single project we do. Okay, come down, give it a name. This one is the tutorial, so you can put tutorial. Give it a meaningful name. When we go into other projects, if it's the tiny house, you need to name it tiny house. If it's the 2-story, you need to name it 2-story. That way we know which file specifically it is. Okay, and then go ahead and hit save. And you'll see up here, it's going to change it from saying project 1 to whatever it is that you named it. And then after you've given it its name, its destination, then you can come up here to the little floppy disk before you walk out and hit save. And just make sure it actually finishes saving before you go running out the door. Okay, because there's a lot of the times it might pop something up saying that, there's a reason it can't finish it, and then you've just lost your period of work, or since the last backup. All right, let's go to video 2.